Metro TV. 1 minute, please. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of Government Oversight Audit. I am your chairperson, Councilwoman Donna Purvis. I am joined virtually by my co-chair, Anthony Piaggiatini. I have in chambers Councilman JJ, Councilwoman Baz, Councilwoman McCraney. We're also joined virtually by Councilman Reed. Please read the disclaimer.
This meeting is being held pursuant to KRS 61.826 and Council Rule 5A, read in full.
Thank you. Wanted to let you all know that items 1 and 7 are being held. We are going to start the meeting out with number 2 on the agenda, with a resolution approving the reappointment of Edward Harness as the Inspector General for Lower Jefferson County Metro Government.
Motion.
Thank you. Properly moved in second. Who do we have here to speak on Mr. Harness's reappointment?
Couture Amaro, Craig Greenberg's office. Ed Harness is reappointed for his second term, which started, his first term was December 6, 2021. Correct. And this will be for an additional 4 years. Any questions, you can ask him.
Mr. Harness, would you like to come up to the podium?
Good afternoon, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you'd like to just give us a summary of what some of your accomplishments have been. We know that they didn't come without challenges. So if you want to just briefly just talk about that and what your plans are moving ahead, moving forward in the next 4 years.
Certainly, thank you, Chair. Thank you for the opportunity. I thought I would highlight some things that didn't get media attention, perhaps. All of our annual reports were submitted timely, along with all of our required quarterly reports. They were submitted to Council for review. Throughout our time, since we became operational, we have produced white papers on selecting a comparison benchmark city to compare ourselves with. That ended up being Charlotte-Mecklenburg. We produced a white paper on first responder attrition factors, response times within LMPD. We produced a white paper, The Big Picture, a visualization of work in the community on behalf of LMPD. We also did an LMPD use of force analysis. We did a project called the 1829 Project, which compared the principles of Robert Peel versus community-oriented policing principles, which essentially are the same, of the community, by the community, for the police. And then our last large project outside of our complaint investigations was a year-long study regarding best practices for the Detective Bureau. Our analyst, Dr. Whetstone, took a year and he examined the detective practices at the division level throughout LMPD, along with the 195 complaints that we received. Of those 195 complaints, 27 of them were authorized for full investigation, and we also provided a report of those to the entire council back in September, outlining some of those statistics.
So it sounds like you've been pretty busy these last 4 years. Wanted to ask you, in your role, are you working with the Public Integrity Unit? Are you doing all your investigations solely as the Inspector General? Just want to know, are you depending on feedback from them or gathering information? If you can just speak a little bit about that.
Certainly, Chair. We're operating under the original MOU, which was signed in March of 2023, whereas we will not do concurrent investigations. If there's an administrative investigation that is solely under our purview, we will do that. If the Professional Standards Unit is doing an investigation of that matter administratively, we will allow them to do that investigation. And then if it involves a citizen complainant or a civilian complainant, we ask that we get that file to review it. If in any way it could involve a criminal matter, then we're referring that directly to PIU. We just had a case that we referred over to PIU, as a matter of fact, yesterday, regarding allegations of interstate custody matter, which the complaint was it wasn't investigated properly. So we sent that over to PIU to investigate. Looking forward, as we are now operating under the community commitment, in April of this year, we sent over a draft of a new MOU for the chief to review, so that we can bring our operations in alignment with the community commitment, bearing in mind that we will have a monitor in place. We have not yet begun those negotiations, but they are there, and we're fully ready to operate under the community commitment.
Great. Okay, looks like we have a question from Councilwoman McCraney.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Harness. I am very glad that the mayor reappointed you for consideration for reappointment. So we're going to hope for the best in the next couple of minutes here. But what was in the media quite a bit was your relationship with the chief of police. If you could talk a little bit about what your plans are to try to work more cohesively with the chief. I know you work well with the police department and the different units, but have you talked with the chief, and have you all decided on a different route these next 4 years so that the community can see that you have been very cooperative and wanting to work with them, and how that relationship can publicly be on display a little bit better?
Councilor, I appreciate the question, and I appreciate the sentiment regarding reappointment. Certainly, we need to strive for better internal communication and external communication. Taking that forward, I have an appointment this Thursday with the Director of Communications with LMPD, so we can start to address some of those matters directly, along with our joint obligations under the community commitment related to information regarding both entities as far as how the public can access our office.
And may I? Along with that, can you state for the community that may be listening what your role is versus what the role is of the new established monitoring company?
Yes, Councilor, I appreciate that question. I think you can look at, how can I best describe it? How about a layer cake? And there's different layers as it relates to the community commitment, the Community Safety Commission, the Civilian Review and Accountability Board, and the Office of Inspector General. The Community Safety Commission will be the entity to which the monitor reports. And the monitor is going to do their examination of policies and practices of LMPD on a macro level, a 10,000-foot level. The monitor has the ability to refer individual complaints to our office to investigate. The Civilian Review and Accountability Board and the Office of Inspector General still maintains the ability to investigate complaints, those being formal and informal. Also, the ability to, as it's categorized in the community commitment, complaint investigations and non-complaint investigations. And those investigations will be more granular as opposed to the larger examinations that the monitor will do. So while it would appear that there's some redundancies, it's actually layering of obligations for the community, both in the community commitment and living up to the ordinance that this body passed.
Madam Chairwoman, I can't log in. Can I get in the queue, please?
We did that on purpose.
Sorry, I didn't remember how to log in remotely. That's my bad.
Just one second. I'd like to acknowledge we are now joined by Councilman Kramer, Councilman Reno Weber, and virtually Councilman Liniger and Councilwoman Hawkins. And yes, sir, you can go ahead and speak.
Thank you very much, Chairwoman. Unfortunately, I'm going to be a no vote today. I appreciate Mr. Harness coming today and giving the explanation. I want to address a few things, explaining my no vote. First of all, I think we have, hands down, one of the best, certainly the best chief of police that we've had in my tenure on Metro Council. And we've had a lot of them in that period of time. As a matter of fact, the very, very, very close second, if not tied for first, might also be Yvette Gentry, who is related to our current chief. And I have serious concerns with just what is public related to disagreements between the Office of the Inspector General and LMPD. And it's not just Chief Humphrey's opinion. In at least one case that I'm looking at where the Office of the Inspector General questioned an officer's use of deadly force or justification in firing without verbal commands, it was not just LMPD who believed that the officer was justified, but also the Commonwealth Attorney's Office who reviewed their actions as well. So we now have multiple experts, and I very much respect our Commonwealth Attorney's Office. I think Ms. Weathers is doing an outstanding job in her role as well in tackling crime in our city. And now I see two of the highest law enforcement officers, or two of the highest law enforcement officers who I have tremendous respect for, who have now disagreed with the OIG on multiple occasions. Or at least the chief has on multiple occasions, and then the Commonwealth attorneys on at least one occasion I could cite. And these are, these are just in the ones that are publicly known. I mean, the chief acknowledged that in most cases when they get these reports, if they disagree, they just move on. So the fact that we have such a disconnect between these offices, when I've had skepticism of the FRAB board sort of from the beginning, and that I voted against a couple of the original appointees, had concerns with how that was being run, and I think some of my concerns have now materialized, which is we don't have a partner in working with LMPD to improve things. Instead, we have an institution which is recommending things that don't align with the law, including in another case, making recommendations on how former military members who have transitioned into a law enforcement role who should be treated, and those people have federal protections, making recommendations that may be in conflict with existing federal law. So, and then the last thing I'll say is, in response to Mr. Harness's comment about the layers of these different groups, with respect, I disagree wholeheartedly about how this works. The monitor, the independent monitor, in saying that they report to this group that the mayor put together that has no oversight of this Metro Council, I couldn't possibly disagree more. I've made it clear to the monitor, unfortunately, they couldn't come today. They're coming hopefully to the next meeting. There was just a logistical issue. But I reminded them, and I'll remind everybody, my colleagues here as well as the public, that this committee specifically is the only committee that has oversight and subpoena powers of the executive branch. The monitor was hired by the executive branch, no insight from us, no vote by us. The board that the mayor created had no oversight of us. So what Mr. Harness just indicated, where they're all reporting to each other, well, that's all the executive branch reporting to each other. I couldn't disagree more. Ultimately, we are responsible for ensuring that the mayor makes good on the promises he's made to ensure we have constitutional policing in this city. And we have and will continue to exercise that oversight, including of the monitor. If the mayor wants to take advice from third parties, he can do that. But ultimately, we speak on behalf of the people and have that oversight. So I've not been, so to summarize, I'm not particularly, I've not been impressed with the work product of the Office of Inspector General. And for that reason, it wouldn't make sense for me to vote in the affirmative for Mr. Harness's reappointment. So thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Liniger?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, thank you for joining us, Inspector General Harness. Really happy to see you here for your hearing before the body for your reappointment, which I think you know and I think the public knows I support. I have a couple of questions for you, if that's all right. My first being, do you believe that it's the role of the Office of Inspector General to agree with the Chief of LMPD?
Counselor, thank you for the question. I think it's our role to examine the evidence that is before us. And I think it's important for the public to understand that we do not make evaluations of the criminal elements of any aspect of an investigation for an officer-involved shooting. And as a matter of fact, we have not ever disagreed with with the county attorney's assessment in a criminal matter. We have concurred with that. In previous cases referenced here today, that was an evaluation of policy and administrative investigation. So that was the evaluation that we made. So no, it's not our aim to find points of agreement. It's our aim to evaluate it and come to an independent conclusion.
Thank you. My next set of questions are more related to the purview of the office and whether or not any actions have been taken in the purview of the office in a specific matter. Does your office have purview over allegations of LMDC or LMPD officers acting in violation of the separation ordinance?
Counselor, we do not have jurisdiction over the corrections facility and their actions. As for the second item, it would be, we would have jurisdiction if it involved an LMPD officer and there were allegations of an administrative or a policy violation.
Has there been any items brought to your office regarding specific officers or administrative decisions made that were in violation of the separation ordinance?
Counselor, no, not to this date, no.
Okay. That's all I have for now. I do want to tell you that, again, very happy to see you here. I had surgery this morning, but I have dragged myself to this meeting because I think it's very important that we are, we have you here before the body, and we have a chance to forward a recommendation for your reappointment. I will, of course, be voting yes. It's good to see you, sir.
Thank you.
I do not see anyone else in the queue. Does anyone else have questions?
Yeah, I'm in the queue.
Okay. Go ahead.
Madam Chair, did you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Madam Chair, okay, thank you. First I want to say that I appreciate you being here, Mr. Harness. I also want to say I appreciate the work that you have done thus far. I know that it has not been the most easiest position to hold. I also want to say thank you for your boldness and a lot of your honesty. That position, definitely, no matter who sits in it, is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way when you speak the truth, when you're very bold, and when you go against the grain. And a lot of people don't like to do that when it comes to whether it's the public being wrong, whether it's officers being wrong, or even, for example, if the chief is wrong. I'm a firm believer that you believe in accountability. Um, and I just want to say thank you for all the work. I do agree with my colleague Piangentini when he stated that that the administration did set these boards up without any questions or coming to the Metro Council, who these parties and these boards would have to come in front of anyway, because this particular committee is the only committee that has subpoena power. So I do agree with that. I do believe that in the event that if that would have happened, then it probably would have been a lot easier for council members to say, okay, we do agree with Ed Harness staying, but we was not included in that process. I would not say that that doesn't make you not a good fit for the role. I think that that was a great move that the mayor made with keeping you, because if not, even with a new person coming in, then it would have set us way behind when it came to the monitor. But we didn't have a choice in any of that, and that is not your fault. So I want to ask you to continue the work that you're doing. Move us forward with getting the work done, and I will be in support of this. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? Okay. I think we are ready to vote. Clerk, can we do, yes, sir. Thank you.
Voting's open. Vice Chair Piagentini.
No.
Committee Member Hawkins.
Yes.
Committee Member Reed.
No.
Committee Member Lininger, to vote, you have to have your camera on, please.
I'm clicking the button, but it's not.
There
There
it
we
is.
go.
Oh, it was.
There you go.
Chair, you have 4 yes and 5 no votes.
This will go before the full council. It will be on old business, the next council meeting next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item on the agenda is the reappointment of Jasmine Tate to the Nulu Review Overlay. I'm sorry, I can't see. Hold on. Overlay District Committee, term expires February 26, 2028. I need a motion.
Motion.
Properly moved.
Motion.
Ms. Morrow?
Do I have to introduce myself again? Katora Morrow, Mayor Greenberg's office. We are asking for the reappointment of Jasmine Tate. She is a constituent of District 4. She works at Brown Foreman. She represents the Phoenix Hill Neighborhood Association, which is a prescribed seat. She was originally appointed in 2022. We are asking to move forward with her appointment, and she is in the audience today if you have any questions.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Jasmine Tate.
You want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Or?
Yeah. So I am a Louisville resident. I was born and raised in the city. I have lived in the Phoenix Hill neighborhood, within the Nulu overlay for 10 years now. I'm active in the community. I've served on the neighborhood association, and I have been, enjoyed my time and the input I've been able to give on the overlay committee thus far.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Tate? No, okay, none, okay. All right, we're ready to vote. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Our next appointment is Caitlin Mannert to the Nulu Review Overlay District Committee. Term expires February 26, 2028. Need a motion?
Motion.
Ms. Morrow?
Katora Morrow, Mayor Craig Greenberg's office. Katie Meinhardt is a constituent of District 8. She is the owner of Six Sisters Boutique and Paxton's Men Boutique in Nulu since 2017. She is committed to small business and the Nulu community, represents Nulu Business Association, and she is in the audience if you have any questions.
Good evening. Thank you all for having me. I'll just do a quick intro if you all are okay with that. Katie Meinhardt. I have been president of the Nulu Business Association for the last 4 years, on the board for the last 8 or more. Lifelong Louisvillian, and work alongside quite a few within Metro, as well as with LDP on my board with Rebecca Flyshaker. Mike Maloney is my neighbor and Metro Mayor's Office employee also on our board. So we are really thriving in Nulu in a lot of ways, but also hurting in a lot of ways. And as we continue to have new developers coming in, both local and national developers, we want to make sure that we're continuing to keep the integrity of the neighborhood and the historic properties there maintained. So I hope that you guys see all the good that's happening there, and I would love to be a part of it.
Are there any questions for Ms. Meinert? No? Okay. All right. No questions. We're ready for a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Our next appointment is the reappointment of Naomi Rose Paulin to the Revenue Commission. Term expires October 1st, 2028. I need a motion.
Motion.
Okay, Ms. Morrow.
Katura Morrow, Mayor Craig Greenberg's office. Naomi Rose Paulin had a conflict today, so she's not here. But she is a longtime resident of Louisville. She is a retired Metro government employee, past Assistant Director of the Revenue Commission. And although she is unable to attend, we are asking that you move forward with her reappointment.
Are there any questions? No questions or comments. We're ready to vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. Our last piece of business today is the appointment of Stephanie Minyard to the Revenue Commission. Term expires October 1st, 2028. I need a motion.
Motion.
Thank you. Ms. Monroe.
Katura Morrow, Mayor Craig Greenberg's office. Stephanie Minyard is the former CFO with the American Printing House for the Blind, past CEO as well. She is out of Metro Council District 18. She has expertise in strategic financing as a controller with Brown Forman. She is in the chambers, and you can ask her any questions you have.
Yeah, she's ready to talk. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, thank you so much, Madam Chairman and Vice Chair and Council committee members. Appreciate you letting me attend today and appreciate this appointment. A little bit about me is I've lived in Louisville since 2004. Moved here. My wife is born and raised here, so I decided to come here instead of staying in Lexington, Kentucky. Throughout my years in Louisville, I've always given back in different ways, whether it be through working through Brown Forman and different activities, giving back to the community, volunteering, and in that I've wanted to do more, continue to do more. So throughout my career, I've loved what I've done when it comes to finance and strategic planning, continuous improvement, and ultimately operations as well. And I want to be able to give back to the community, but also continue to be a servant leader, as I've always been in my career, by ultimately serving the public in a different facet. And my skill set really fits this commission well.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Ms. Minyard? None? Okay, it's time to vote. All those in favor of her appointment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
oppositions? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
That concludes our business for this evening, and this meeting is now adjourned.